we're going to race. Right, so welcome to this episode of Heartbreak Garage, and here is, excuse the mess, I need to tidy up, but here is my 2002 cbr600fsport, and I'll be riding this to the Dragon Rally very soon, in fact 9 days time. But I need some new tyres, I need some new brakes, it needs a service, and it needs a new chain and sprockets, plus it needs a battery. I've got this battery, it's not quite the right one, but it's good enough to fit, so we're just going to get it running for now, and then next week we're going to do all the bits on it. So if it don't fit, don't force it. Right, so in here we've got the ECU and some of its wiring and the hole for the battery, so let's put a battery in it and try and fire it up. It hasn't ran for a few months because it's been wintry and so on, so and I've been lazy, so I should have been on this months ago, but you know, never mind, eh? Here we go. Right, so we've got these little screws in which are dead annoying, and the other bit, the bit that receives them always falls out when you put. Great. Right, so I've got my keys here, and let's see if it powers up. Yes, it does. Fuel pump's running. Right then, we're on main beam. She has been sat a long time. It's quite loud, this bike, but it's on cold start. So this is a cbr600fsport, first of the injection models, and I'm really happy now. It's really cold, that's why it's smoking. It's just a bit of condensation and overfueling, you know. She's coming off cold start, the RPMs are dropping, and the smoke's cleared up. Sounds really tasty. Oh, the indicator's off. Turn that off. Yeah, headlight flash. Horn works. Right, jumped into gear. Go through the electrics and just clean everything up because it's been sat for a while. The contacts are a bit dirty, but we can do that. Right, so it's another day and I haven't got long to go. I've put a new battery on this bike and got it running. I haven't ridden it for a few months because I haven't had time to do the bits on it. It needs brakes, it needs tyres, it needs a service. See, tyres have seen better days, but I got the Dragon Rally in less than 10 days, and by the time I get this edited it's probably going to be almost here, so I need to get it done. I need to get an oil change. The chain is hanging off, it needs new front and rear sprockets, discs, pads on the front, discs and pad on the rear, and the tyres. So If it don't fit, don't force it, and let's get underway. Now I need to get on with getting the wheels off it, inspecting what I need, making a list, checking it twice, and getting it sorted. So let's get to it. Don't drop it. Shit, nearly dropped it. Right, so the problem I've got in this place is spaces of a premium, and although I can work on the 125 behind my house in my little lean-to shed thing, it's a bit more difficult with the bigger bikes, but we'll persevere and get the job done because I haven't got anywhere else at the moment. I could take it to Roy's because he'd let me do that, but it's not on the road, can't be asked getting a van and sorting that, just going to do it here. So that's the back up and nearly dropped it on the floor. Let's get the front in the air. So that was a complete and utter pain in the arse. It took me way longer to get that front paddock standing that I wanted, mainly because the horn was actually covering the hole where it locates in the bottom of the steering stem, which is a pain. So we're going to get the front wheel off, admire the state of the discs and pads, just make it secure because it's going to be off, the wheels will be off for a couple of days whilst I dick about basically, and then we can put it back together. But we've got to make it secure because I trust the rear paddock stands, but I don't trust the front one, especially because it's one of them folding shitey things. So we'll do that. So that's what we'll do next then. Right, so because she's a Honda, there's a lot of bolts of the 12mm variety, and there's a couple of pinch bolts that go through the end of the axle tubes, the front suspension tubes, the fork tubes, and then they lock on the axle. So we'll slacken them off and then we'll get the axle undone. Please don't fall off the stand, that would be bad. They don't have to be mega tight, so I'm hoping, because it was me who had them off last, they're not going to be. Right, well there's two cracks off. Anyway, you don't need to take them all the way out, you just need to back them off. So I'll bring you back in just a second. That's my new thing now. I'll bring you back in just a second and show you what I've done. Right, so I've got some axle stands ready for when I want to make it secure, and I bought myself a new little rechargeable work light from Tool Station or somewhere, and it was like £8 or something. So let's fire that up and we can, there we go. So on this side I've slackened off the two pinch bolts and I've taken out the retainer out of there, and then the axle tube will slide out of this side, and there's a couple of holes in it. You can slide a screwdriver or something through it and just slide it out. So that's what we're going to do now. So if I put a bit of light on the situation and I'll put you back on the tripod, we'll get that axle tube out. So Cody, my wife, and Cody's girlfriend are in the kitchen cooking some lovely vanilla and something cookies at the moment, and the smell is awesome. So I'll be hoping to sample a few of them later. Right, let's get that in there and we can... I brought a screwdriver that's too big. Bugger. I was hoping that was going to be the right size. I'll have to go back to the van to get another one. Damn it. Let's see what I've got. Right, so, ow, that's a bit sharp. Right, so I have a screwdriver. Got the wrong one again. Meant to get a Phillips little one. Back again. Right, so here I am back again with the correct screwdriver that's going to slide through that hole, and it does, which is nice. And I can just ease out the spindle. or axle, whatever you want to call it. Thing that holds wheel on. Sounds good. So, we're now stuck a little bit. There we go. We can drop the wheel out, which is nice. Right, what are we stuck on now? Oh yeah, that was me being a moron. I have to take one of the calipers off to allow clearance to get the wheel out. So we'll take this side off because it's there. And on, you know, I've had this bike a long time, an awful long time, so it's good because I know that people haven't been in putting Loctite on things there's no business having Loctite on, like caliper bolts. If you Loctite your caliper bolts on, Jesus, what's wrong with you? I know loads of people that done it. I have struggled for hours trying to get things like caliper bolts. No, you just do them up tight enough so they don't fall off, you know? You don't need Loctite on everything in the world. Right, there's a caliper off, which is nice. We'll just poke our bolts back in there so we know where they go. And hopefully now, I can just fan angle. Still tight, but there we go. Right, so the discs aren't actually in bad shape, but through me going like a knob, they have warped a bit. So we're going to price them up and I'll speak to the financial advisors. We do need new pads, but if I have to, the discs will go again. We'll see how we go. So that's the front one off, and we're gonna have to make this a bit safer now because I really don't like it just hanging there like this, just getting there. So we'll put that through and slide our axle back in. So one side is fatter than the other, and that's just how they are. So we'll slide that back in, like that, get in there, and we'll just put our retainer bolt in a couple of threads, and then we'll get some axle stand action on the front. Beautiful, it's right up there, it's nice and close, so if this contraption fails, we've got the axle stand under it that's going to save our bacon. I'd like to get two under there, but there's not the room, so that'll have to do. That'll have to do. It's good enough. It's good enough. Right, so and for that operation I just use a screwdriver, 12mm on my ratchet, and an adjustable gently, because I don't have, I think they're like a 27 socket, but I haven't got that with me, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to cry over it. What I will do though is I'll put a big cable tie through the wheel to keep all the wheel spaces in it, because that's what we want to do. Plus I'll check the wheel bearings. Right, moving to the back. Hey Hughie. Hey mate. What's this? Come on then. Good lad. Look. Say hello to the camera. Good boy. You're feeling much better, aren't you? Yeah. Good boy. We're going to do this chain. We're going to do this chain. Maybe. You're going to go back in for one. Good boy. So I've cracked off the spindle. I've made sure our adjusters are free, and now I'm going to take that off there. So let's see how we go. Light. Need some light on the subject. So there's a couple of 8mm in here that hold this on. So that's nice and free. That cracked off, sweet. I have been having some camera issues with it randomly turning itself off and stopping recording and all sorts, so that's been good. Really makes my day, that does. So we'll take this cover off, the two 8mm. there she is. Right, so yeah, we've got our gear selector pattern, so first, neutral, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. And we're going to clear all the crap out of there as well, because there's all sorts of chain lube and disgustingness in there that we don't want. There's a spacer there, don't want to lose that. And then we've got a 14mm here, and we'll crack him off as well before we take any more things off. Yeah, you were still recording. 14 net extension. Right, so I've got the 14 on there. Locking gear. That's not enough. So I'll reach over. I need to get an assistant to push on the brake with me. With the glamorous assistant, can you please push down on the back brake lever for me? Don't worry, the camera won't see you fully. No,
I just want to know which one's the back brake.
That one there.
This?
Yes. So get your leg up and push down. That'll do. Right, just hold it there. Oh, are they right hand or left hand thread? I can't remember. Just oh my god, it's tight. Oh, pull it off the stand in a minute. I should probably get the impact. Oh, yeah. So that was tight so it wouldn't fall off on it. Thank you very much, dear.
Pleasure.
Mrs. Blackhands can return to her whatever she was doing, gardening, and I can proceed with the job. Marvellous. Wow, that was tight. And the camera is still recording, which is a bonus. So, with that nice and undone, I thought it, for some reason my brain told me it was left hand thread. I knew it wasn't, but do you know when you're just yanking on something and it's not moving, and then you have that thought in your mind that goes, am I being a complete and utter moron? And when that happens, I've got to stand back and think, because there is a strong possibility that I could just be being a complete and utter moron. But in this case, I was right, and it was a right-handed thread. So, right, back to getting the back wheel out. So I'm going to remove, am I going to remove it? Am I going to remove that? Do I need to? I don't know. Right, so, oh, excuse me. Right, so this chain hasn't got a split link in it, but it has got a master link where it's been crimped together. So the chain I've got for ease of service, and because this isn't a track day bike and it's just my daily commute, you know, this one, although it hasn't been on the channel much or at all, this is like my wife, this bike. She's always there, she starts up, she's dead reliable. She has never ever ever in like 6 years let me down, ever. So, you know, apart from my other bikes, you know, which do let me down, this one is just, she's just loyal to me, you know. So I'm just going to use a split link chain, you know, that's what the budget's there for, that's what I've got. So what I'll probably do is get it all apart, and then I'll just cut this chain off with the angle grinder, because it is completely ruined. It's on the verge of, like, look at that, it's just crap. So but saying that, it's been on the bike for like 5 years, so I have well and truly had my money out of it. So let's just get the back wheel out, and we can get the front sprocket off and consider what we're going to do with the chain. I think we'll just cut it, but you know. So I got the nut off the other side on the washer, and last time I had this apart I did use plenty of anti-seize compound or anti-struggle paste on it. So we're just going to try and take the weight of the wheel and slide the spindle out, and then drop it out the caliper. Them pads are right just before the metal. This chain is ruined. This bike lives outside, it doesn't ever come inside. Oh my goodness, look at that. I have totally abused this, by the way. And we can see there, missing tooth, missing tooth, and they are just absolutely ruined. But I just need to get my money out of everything because I ain't made of money, so that to me is fine. Excellent. I've just been delivered a cookie by my eldest son Cody and a coffee. Touch my coffee and I will slap you so hard that Google won't find it. But look at that, homemade cookies. Well, that's awesome, thank you very much. Right. Yep. Mint. Get this front sprocket off, which I hope is not. Oh no, it's not seized on. That's good. So we can get that off. Let's just get this situation happening. Alright. And there's a. We'll clean all in there and get all that shite out of there. That's a little bolt, and as we can see there's no Loctite on that, so if there's no Loctite on it when Honda put it together, it's definitely not necessary now. There's our sprocket, and the one I bought for it has actually got a cush drive in it. Well, Cody got in it. We'll put that there and we'll put that back in there, and we'll get this chain off now, I think. The chain off because I've left my angle grinder on another job welding a transit up for a friend of mine. Well, not a job, just a favour, you know what I mean. So we're going to pack up. I have meticulously inspected and we 100% do need new pads, and the discs, they could do with being changed because the fronts are warped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to price them up and then see what the financial advisor says, and we'll go from there. But for the moment we're going to leave it like this for tonight, and then once I've got wheels, discs and pads, we'll strip the calipers, clean them out, make sure they're functioning correctly, and then we'll do an oil and filter and possibly spark plugs and new chain and sprockets, and that'll be it ready for the Dragon Rally 2024, where we will get up to some fun and happy days. If it don't fit, don't force it.